In the heart of the city, an unexpected drama unfolds at City Hall. At its center stands Governor Sandra Coria, whose reputation lies in tatters amid allegations of a shocking betrayal of public trust, the misappropriation of funds intended for vital hospital equipment. The calm before the storm shattered days earlier when members of an elite unit known as the Die Folks descended upon the governor's opulent residence. Their presence far from ceremonial as they methodically combed through the premises before leading Coria away in handcuffs. Agents Miguel and Ed stepped into the spotlight, tasked with unraveling this web of corruption. Within the stark confines of an interrogation room, they confronted the governor with damning evidence of financial impropriety. In a chilling recorded confession, Coria revealed their true colors, brazenly declaring a willingness to silence anyone who dared expose their misdeeds to either the public or authorities. Even then, they attempted to manipulate justice itself, dangling money before the prosecutor's office in exchange for leniency. The plot thickened when Coria's lawyer arrived, making casual conversation about the governor's family enjoying Miami's sunshine before delivering what seemed like good news, the prospect of house arrest during the trial. Seizing this glimmer of hope, Coria immediately moved to bolster personal security. Meanwhile, Miguel and Ed received clearance to head home. In a tender moment, Miguel discovered his young daughter asleep on the couch, carefully carrying her to bed, where she drowsily expressed pride in her father's pursuit of justice. The next day brought bittersweet transitions. Miguel's plans to treat his daughter to a soccer game were interrupted by his ex-wife's arrival for pickup. But the real blow came at the office. His superior announced the dissolution of his team and the transfer of Coria's case to military police. Months of Miguel's dedication evaporated in an instant, igniting his fury despite the futility of protest. Through the frustration, Ed's timely reminder of Miguel's promise to his daughter spurred him into action, racing to meet her as she waited alongside his former spouse. What should have been a perfect father-daughter moment transformed into an unthinkable nightmare. Racing slightly late to the game, Miguel's daughter beamed with excitement, proudly wearing her Brazil jersey and pausing only briefly to capture the moment with a photo. In an instant, Miguel's world collapsed as he watched his daughter fall, his police instincts giving way to pure paternal panic as he rushed her to the nearest hospital. The emergency room burst into action, with nurses whisking her away while Miguel, forced to remain outside, confronted a harsh reality. The hallways overflowed with patients receiving substandard care, a testament to the facility's severe underfunding. His heart sank further upon finding his daughter weakened outside the operating room, trapped in a cruel waiting game due to the hospital's overwhelming patient load and equipment shortages. His ex-wife arrived only to face the unbearable news of their child's passing. Edu, deeply moved by his friend's loss, pledged to help track down the shooter, but the urban maze of buildings where the tragedy occurred left them without clear leads. As Miguel grappled with his devastating loss, his grief morphed into rage upon learning that the very equipment shortages that contributed to his daughter's death stemmed from misappropriated funds. The final twist of the knife came when Governor Coria, freshly acquitted of financial misconduct, brazenly launched a presidential campaign, making hollow promises about healthcare improvements and hospital funding. Pushed beyond his breaking point, Miguel channeled his anguish into action. Joining protesters at City Hall, he confronted the police force he once served. Masked and determined, his confrontation with Coria's security detail was captured on video by an anonymous witness. In a final fateful encounter within City Hall's walls, Miguel faced the corrupt governor whose actions had indirectly stolen his daughter's future. There, in a moment of raw justice, he ensured Coria would never again betray the public's trust or another father's hope of seeing his child grow up. The political landscape trembled in the wake of Coria's demise. Gomez, seizing the moment of chaos, gathered his inner circle to propose his son as the next presidential candidate. The suggestion landed like a lead balloon, his associates' skepticism evident in their expressions. Clearly, they saw his son as woefully inadequate for the role. Gomez's response to their doubts turned menacing, wielding the threat of exposing their corruption to Minister Regina. Meanwhile, Miguel fought to emerge from the depths of his grief, forcing himself back into the rhythms of work. Alongside Edu, he found himself investigating the very protest he'd participated in, a twisted irony of fate. During the roundup of supposed riot organizers, Miguel's heart nearly stopped when he recognized a familiar face, a programmer named Nina, who held dangerous knowledge of his masked vigilante actions. The interrogation room became a chess match between Miguel and Nina, her phone containing evidence that could destroy him. Backed into a corner, Miguel orchestrated her release and retrieved the incriminating device before his colleagues could discover its contents. But rather than blackmail, Nina offered partnership, her hacking skills providing a key to unlocking the truth behind the misappropriated medical funds. Their collaboration proved explosive. Nina's expertise cracked open Coria's laptop, revealing a serpentine network of corruption leading straight to Gomez and his cohorts. The discovery ignited a new purpose in Miguel. These weren't just corrupt officials, they were indirect architects of his daughter's death. Donning his now infamous mask, he embarked on a systematic campaign of justice, each corrupt politician falling like dominoes. As news of these vigilante actions spread, Nina tested the waters with her supervisor, philosophically questioning whether such an avenging figure might be considered heroic. Later, in a quiet moment at her workplace, Miguel approached with another request to trace the dark money funding these politicians' campaigns. Nina's initial reluctance dissolved when Miguel offered help in reducing her mother's prison sentence. The personal stakes had risen for both of them, binding their fates closer together in their dangerous pursuit of justice. Truth and justice intertwined in the sterile confines of a prison visiting room, where Nina confronted her wrongfully accused mother. Their philosophical clash over truth's nature, Nina's belief in its absoluteness versus her mother's view of its fluidity, became a turning point. Strengthened in her resolve, Nina committed herself fully to Miguel's cause, determined to expose those who had bankrolled Coria and his corrupt cohorts. Her technical expertise proved invaluable as she infiltrated the surveillance systems of the building where Gomez and Regina's clandestine meeting was set to take place. Meanwhile, Miguel maintained his cover by feigning involvement in Edu's investigation of the mysterious Awakener. In a calculated move, he suggested his friend take a breather from the case, but Edu's investigative instincts led him to a shocking discovery. Minister Regina was next on the Awakener's list. Desperate to warn Miguel, Edu's calls went unanswered, forcing him to race alone to Regina's meeting with Gomez. The moment of truth arrived in a heart-stopping confrontation. Edu found himself face to face with the Awakener, only to discover the masked vigilante was none other than his friend Miguel. In a split second of chaos, Edu's bullet found its mark, but Miguel, refusing to engage his friend, abandoned his mission and fled. Nina became his sanctuary, tending to his wounds while the weight of revelation hung heavy between them. The following day brought an unexpected twist as Miguel and Edu, their personal drama hidden beneath professional facades, presented their findings to their colleagues. Their evidence painted a damning picture of Minister Regina's collusion with Gomez in financing the corrupt political machine. Just as their investigative team prepared to dig deeper into Regina's activities, their superiors descended like hawks, bringing their progress to an abrupt halt with orders to cease their investigation into the minister's affairs. At that moment, Gomez's mansion buzzed with powerful government officials, while his son struggled with the weight of expectations during an intimate dinner gathering. In a private moment with his mother, Gomez's son confessed his doubts about assuming the presidency, his conscience wrestling with his desire to please his father. This moment of vulnerability proved tragically final. Miguel struck with calculated precision, taking the son's life to force Gomez's hand. But Gomez, ever the manipulator, transformed his son's death into political currency, seamlessly stepping forward as the replacement candidate while riding a wave of public sympathy. As Gomez dug deeper into his associates' deaths, his attorney Sakara uncovered a crucial lead. The Awakener had an accomplice. The trail led to Nina's boss, resulting in a swift and brutal elimination. Nina's world tilted on its axis when she discovered her boss's lifeless body, sending her fleeing to Miguel's hideout, unknowingly leading covert agents straight to him. The hideout erupted in violence as agents stormed in, culminating in Sakara taking Nina hostage. The attorney's ultimatum was clear. Miguel must assassinate Julia M., a presidential candidate known for her integrity, to save Nina's life. Before Miguel could process this devastating choice, police sirens wailed in response to reported gunfire, bringing Edu's team to the scene. The discovery of Miguel's phone confirmed Edu's worst suspicions about his friend's secret identity. Racing against time, both men converged on the presidential debate venue. Miguel reluctantly prepared to compromise his principles to save Nina, while Edu rushed to prevent a tragedy. As Miguel lined up his shot at the unsuspecting Julia, the weight of targeting an honest politician tearing at his soul, Edu's intervention sparked a desperate struggle. Their fight became a dance of restraint, each man pulling their punches, their brotherhood still evident even as they found themselves on opposite sides of justice. Within prison walls, Edu orchestrated a last attempt to reach Miguel's conscience, bringing his ex-wife to remind him of their daughter's ideals. Her words cut deep, suggesting their child would be ashamed to see her father become what he fought against. Yet even as these emotions churned, television news revealed Gomez's masterful manipulation of his son's death, his popularity surging on a wave of public sympathy. Fate intervened during Miguel's questioning when a corrupt superior attempted to silence him permanently. In a swift reversal of fortune, Miguel neutralized the threat, but this attack crystallized the urgency of his mission. Gomez was steps away from claiming the presidency. Breaking free from confinement, Miguel armed himself for one final confrontation. The Parliament building buzzed with premature celebration as Gomez and his allies toasted their apparent triumph over Julia. Their revelry transformed into chaos as Miguel burst in, his presence dealing swift justice to Gomez's corrupt inner circle. When finally face to face with Gomez, the politician attempted to philosophize about corruption's inevitability, citing human nature's endless greed. Miguel's response came not in words, but in unflinching action, a single shot that ended Gomez's reign of corruption. As Gomez's loyal guards surrounded Miguel, weapons trained on him from every angle, a slight smile played across his face. His true endgame revealed itself in a devastating explosion, his rigged vehicle detonating, bringing the building down around them all. In the aftermath, investigators found only his iconic mask among the rubble, Miguel's fate becoming an enduring mystery. The final frame captures a haunting image, a masked figure perched atop a distant building, weapon poised with familiar precision. The question lingers in the air like smoke after a firefight. Could this be Miguel, having somehow cheated death once more? Or has his mission inspired another to take up the mantle of justice? The legend of the Awakener lives on, a shadow of vengeance lurking wherever corruption dares to flourish. This closing scene leaves audiences pondering the cyclical nature of justice and revenge, while the Awakener's legacy continues to echo through the streets of Brazil, a reminder that someone always watches from the shadows, ready to answer corruption with swift retribution.